This year, MLB The Show 18 is making some pretty big changes in the way you experience Road to the Show, much of which I think you're going to love. So in this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know about Road to the Show and MLB The Show 18. Now, before we jump in, make sure to subscribe for all MLB The Show 18 news and, of course, Road to the Show videos when the games comes out March 23rd for early access first pitch weekend. The first change is the removal of microtransactions from the progression system. San Diego Studios wanted to remove the need to make purchases to progress your player and just focus on the gameplay and make it a much more fun and pure experience. So this year, you will no longer be able to purchase training points. Instead, you will experience a new way to progress your created player, but we'll get into that later. The removal of microtransactions from Road to the Show also means that you will no longer be able to heal injuries just through stubs. You have to do it naturally, just like a player would in real life. New archetypes and attribute caps. Another big change in the game is how your player is created. This year, your created player will have an archetype. These are designed archetypes as means to create more believable players, and they reflect the various types of players currently found in baseball. Each will have their own suggested primary positions, and there are specific ones for infield, outfield, and pitchers. Each archetype has a pair of strengths and weaknesses. Some archetypes, they may have big power potential at the sacrifice of speed, while others will be insanely fast but lack the ability to go deep. For example, a power corner's archetype strengths are their arm and power, and their weakness is speed. Lastly, archetypes will have the limitations to how powerful they can be in certain attributes. These are called attribute caps, and you will need to raise these during the course of your career if you want to get the most out of your player. There are two types of attribute caps, current and max. Current caps are temporary attribute caps that can be raised through selecting the appropriate focus training choice during one of your training sessions. Training choices that feature a teammate are the only way to raise your cap. Be sure not to neglect these opportunities because once you reach a current cap, you will not be able to take advantage of any gains until the cap is raised. Eventually, you will reach an attribute cap, which cannot be raised. This is your max attribute cap. Max caps are the best that your player can be at a particular attribute through training. But don't worry, you can use equipment cards to further enhance attributes even past their max caps. Speaking of equipment cards, San Diego Studios has added even more equipments and rituals to provide so much more variety for your created player. They've acknowledged how much fun it is to find the right piece of equipment that balances both that swag but also on-field bonuses. Focus training. San Diego Studios has brought back the narrative experience to help tell the story of what it's like for a mid to late round draft pick in the baseball world, with a newer, minimal user interface design. In addition to keeping the strong storyline presence, this year they're taking some major steps in one of the favorite modes, Road to the Show. In addition to archetypes, they've changed the way you progress your characters as you pave your path to the MLB. By taking a look at the previous progression system, they asked themselves, does this feel good? Is this how you would progress your player in real life? And how do you create a more immersive experience in Road to the Show? After discussions amongst the team with professional players, they came to the conclusion that how you progress a player should be in this two-part experience. I particularly find it interesting that when searching for the best possible design, the development team chose to talk only amongst themselves and with professional players and not necessarily with many of us in the community. On the field, the first way to progress and get better is on the field. As we all know, you learn by doing, and your abilities will award your gains to your player's attributes. The development team felt like this was a very organic and passive way to progress. You just play the game. Every on-the-field action you make will feed into your player's attributes. So for example, if you hit a monster shot off of Clayton Kershaw with runners in scoring position, your player will earn gains in power versus lefty and batting clutch attributes. You'll be able to track these gains both during the game as they happen and at the end of the game on the base gains screen. The hope is that both you and your player improve together as you play. Focus training choices. The second way that you'll be able to improve your player is through focus training choices. Previously, you had the power to take all accumulated training points and place them wherever you wanted. This year, they removed the hassle of getting into a groove of playing some of your best games and then having to spend that growing sum of points to catch up on lapsed training. Now you'll be presented with a quick choice experience during the course of your season where you're presented with a short list of options. These options represent areas you want to specifically focus and train your player in order order to improve. You will choose one from up to 4 facility themes. Each facility will have their own specific training exercises. You will choose the training exercise that suits your needs and then improve the specific attributes. It is just that simple. This will allow you to choose your player's progress while allowing you to get back to playing the game. When the development team interviewed Major League players over the course of the last couple of years to build Road to the Show, every player they spoke to mentioned that a big part of their growth came from learning from other players on the team. They wanted to try and reflect this year in some way. So as mentioned previously, all player archetypes have temporary caps. You will have the opportunity during a focus training session to choose a teammate to learn from and have them help you push your player's potential. Managing your caps is important because if you neglect them too long and an attribute caps out, then you will not be able to gain progress in that attribute and will have to wait for another opportunity to train with a teammate. Customization improvements. Finally, there are some deep customization improvements available in Road to the Show. The team made it one of the biggest priorities to improve the look and appearance of your creative player while offering more ways to express yourself. They acknowledge that this is the starting point of your Road to the Show experience and it should offer everything you need to make you your ideal version of your player. This year, they've taken some steps to help make this process best in class. Improve skin, hair, and heads. The San Diego Studios art team has been busy all year round to improve the quality of skin tones and how they look in various lighting conditions. This year in MLB The Show 18, your player's skin tone will have an even more natural appearance and look more realistic. In addition to skin, all of the hair has been reworked in order to look and react more like hair. This is both for facial and head hair. Now, fade hairstyles transition better from shaved areas to grown out parts, while mustache, goatee, and beard fidelity reflects a more realistic look. Batting stance creator. A major addition to the player's customization experience is the brand new Batting Stance Creator. Batting Stance Creator will give you the opportunity to tweak and adjust that perfect batting stance to reflect your personal style. The MLB The Show team even exposed the value so you can share these with other people throughout the community. All of these adjustments to provide a deeper level of customization and uniqueness to creative players. So fine-tune as much as you need and let's see what you got. The new changes to Road to the Show are just the next steps in MLB The Show's journey to provide the best single-player sports gaming experience possible. So maybe we'll see things like story mode in the future. So that's it. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I look forward to seeing all the different archetypes you guys select, the meaningful choices you make throughout your career, the tips and tricks on how you build your Road to the Show player, the stances that you make, and of course, how successful they come in the show. So thanks for tuning in on this one, and until the next one, we shall see ya. Peace.